The AFC North division over-under win totals.
Let's
start with my Steelers. Hey, Mike Tomlin does not have a losing record. And if he didn't have a losing record last year, why in the shit is he going to have one this year? Over-under 8.5. Over!
Yeah, man, and that was like TJ Watt got hurt. When TJ Watt's on the field, they're a top 5 defense. When he's off the field, they stink.
Plus, I'm a Pickens pyromaniac, baby.
Yeah, I like him too. I like him a lot more than.
And by Pickens, I mean Pickett. Yeah. But Pickens is good too. He's also there.
I was gonna say he's there too. You can't really go wrong with either dude.
I like Kenny Pickett.
I like the Steelers.
Isn't it weird though, like how these people have these names? Kenny Pickett off that pitcher that was named Bob Walk. I mean, isn't that weird when that shit happens?
Mm-hmm. It is. You know what else is weird is how Mike Tomlin wins at least 9 games this year. So he'll do that. They'll never have a losing season. Over on the Steelers. That's the easiest bet I think you can make. But I'm not going to make it though.
So our guy Eric Edholm recently wrote a column for NFL.com. And it's about how the Browns are a sneaky contender.
Yeah.
Says if there's a last to first possibility, not named the Jets, that he's fascinated by, it's the Browns. Tough division, yes, but kind of reminds him of the Vikings team last year, where they could be one of these teams that wins a bunch of close games. A lot of this hinges on Deshaun Watson, who I thought was number 2 to Patrick Mahomes' number 1 before all of the touching. And then now that he's come back, I think he looked very, very bad. Like Jacoby Brissett was better. So the Browns over under is 9.5. That's gross. That's too high. I'm taking the under.
I'm not going to take the over, but I'm not going to take the under because I agree with Edholm. Like, what if Deshaun Watson looks like, and he looks healthy? What if he looks like Deshaun Watson, a couple of years ago with Houston, and he's a top 5 quarterback in this league, which I think he can be. And if Nick Chubb stays healthy, if that offensive line goes back to what they were, if the defense gets better, I don't know how good Kevin Stefanski is, though. He like year 1 with Baker Mayfield, he made Baker Mayfield look like a real NFL quarterback, and they won a playoff game. They beat Pittsburgh. They beat Mike Tomlin. But I'm not like running to bet this. I would lean over on the Browns, though. I'm probably going to bet them a lot this season, but they're not the team I like in this division.
The team that I like in this division is Baltimore.
Me too.
And their over-under is, what do we got for them?
It's 8,
10.5.
So it went up. I bet it at 9 and 9.5. I have like $1,700 on that. No joke. I was all over about
I think when Lamar Jackson says, I'm going to throw for 6,000 yards, I think he's like downplaying it. I think he is going to throw for 6,000. He's going to throw for a shitload of yards.
Yeah.
And he's going to remind people. He wants to remind you about how this whole, he's been hurt, and then we've just been talking about him, and does he deserve this, and highest paid that, and we, forget that he's good as shit.
Yeah.
So I will take the over. Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, I was hoping that they were going to trade him to the Packers for Jordan Love, to be honest with you, because he's my favorite quarterback in the league, not named Aaron Rodgers. So
I might take the Ravens as my Super Bowl pick.
Yeah, I mean,
Ravens, Seahawks.
No. Seattle is not going to the Super Bowl. But I'm with you on the Ravens, to be honest with you. I mean, is J.K. Dobbins going to show up, though? Because they're going to need him. And they're going to need to give him the football. I like the Ravens because Greg Roman's gone, right? He was shit, let's be honest. Lamar Jackson's pissed off. He got paid. I completely agree. If he says he's going to throw for 6,000 yards, look at the dudes he won the MVP with that year. And I know that some people want to rip the Odell Beckham Jr. signing. I know they kind of overpaid for him, but it's only 1 year. So if he's washed, you move on. And if he's Odell Beckham Jr. that we saw in the first half of that Super Bowl when he was the best player on the field, not Cooper Kupp, I love it. Defensive side of the ball, they're not like what they were obviously a couple of years ago, but they're still really good. I like Kyle Hamilton. I think he's going to be a hell of a player, but I'm also biased because he went to Notre Dame.
He did.
I like the Roquan signing because It allows Patrick Queen, who's not what we thought he was going to be, just to do one thing, and that's rush the passer. He's pretty good.
Now what you thought he was going to be.
He could get after the quarterback, and if you got Roquan Smith doing everything else, it works out, even though they paid for Roquan. So I'm with you. Over on Baltimore, man. I think that they're a legit Super Bowl contender if Lamar stays healthy. The last 2 years when Lamar's got hurt, they were number one in the division. A couple of years ago, they were the number one overall seed. Remember the year where Tennessee ends up getting the number one seed and Cincinnati goes to the Super Bowl. So every time Lamar plays, they win. And I love Harbaugh. I love how he just doesn't give an F. And, he says, Lamar, what should we do? We go for 2. Sometimes they lose the game, but I like it. So all in on the Ravens this year. Go Baltimore.
What about Cincinnati? Cincinnati's at 11.5. And sometimes these teams like the Packers have done this. They win 13 games and you look and their over-under was 10.5. And at the time you're like, oh, geez, to win 11 games. But then they hit a stride through the season and they just roll. I guess they could do that, but 11.5 is kind of high. I'm going to say under for Cincinnati.
Yeah, I like them a lot because I love Joe Burrow. So I'm rooting for them to go over. And I want them to win. I want to see Burrow win a couple Super Bowls here soon. But what scares me a little bit about that, man, is they've been healthy the last couple of years. Like Burrow, he tore his ACL his rookie year. But then he's been healthy. Jamar Chase has been healthy. Well, he actually missed time last year too. I don't know, man. It's just I'm with you. I wouldn't bet it. I don't want to bet against Joe Burrow, though, because I could easily see them winning 13, 14 games. I like them a lot. But in that division, I think that might be the best division in football. I know we're going to talk about the East, but, if the Browns live up to the hype and win 12 games and Deshaun looks like he did a couple years ago, this is going to be tough to win. The Steelers could win this division, like you said. So I'd lean under just because 11.5 seems a little inflated. But if they stay healthy, they're probably going to win 13 games. Also, this could be their last shot. I know they've said that they plan on paying Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins. But then are you going to have the Packers defense? Who the hell are you going to be able to sign then if you have the 2 highest paid wide receivers and the highest paid quarterback in the league? They're probably going to have you and I at secondary. So I'm going to lean under, but I'm not going to bet against Joe Burrow ever. He's the new Tom Brady.
Yeah, I'll probably lean under too.
He's better looking than Tom Brady, though.
Oh, yeah.
He's got cool hair. I kind of wish I had Joe Burrow's hair, don't you?
I kind of wish I looked like anybody else other than me.
I think he would beat the shit out of you, too.
Joe Burrow?
Yeah. I don't
think there's a quarterback in the league that I could beat up.
I
don't think there's a kicker in the league that I could beat up.
You could probably get Mike Glennon. Mike Glennon.
I don't know,
actually. He's like 6'7". His reach.
Nah, I'd cut him at the knees, step on his neck.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Mason Rudolph seems like a big wimp. He might be able to take him.
Nah, he'll sucker punch me, that asshole.
True.